Yes, guys, good morning. Hope you are doing well. Welcome to our today's class. Sorry for bad or poor network quality. There is no way I can do, and so I have to record and send it to you. For any questions, please do send it to Nontokozo, and Nontokozo will send those questions like to me, and I can respond to my next when I'm going to do my next recording. Right? You did already your final exam for module 1 to 3. So it's only 5 exams that left. So if you never performed well, it's not a problem. You are going to perform well on the next examinations, right? But make sure that when we are giving to you practice questions, you revise them, right? Because those examinations, those international examinations really required you to have practice questions. You can know whatever that's, like configurations, you can be intelligent, but if you don't do those questions, you don't do the practice questions, you are going to fail, right? It's very important. And I know like some of you didn't perform well because it was your first time to see the platform, to see how the exam works and so on, right? So hope next time you are going to perform well, right? Let's move to chapter 4, right? So I'm going to try to share my screen and you're going to see what we're going to talk about. All right? Okay, physical layer. This is module number 4, right? But I'm going to go straight to wireless network interface card. Means this. When you have your PC needs to, you can try maybe to connect your PC to a wireless network, right? So you got your computer, you're gonna connect it to a wireless network, right? Your computer will require one of the components. That component, we call it wireless network interface card, right? So if your computer will have that wireless network interface card, your computer can be connected to a wireless network. The same as your phone. Your phone needs to have a wireless network interface card for it to be connected to wireless networks, right? So it's just a component that will allow you to be connected to wireless networks, right? Beside that, we do have the network interface card, right? So if you wanna be connected using a cable, you are going to use a wireless, okay? Like this one, right? Like I got here my cable. So if I want to connect my computer to a wired network, I can use this network interface card, right? So wireless network interface card, this is the component that will allow you to be connected to wireless network. Network interface card will allow you to be connected to wired network. You can see even the components. This component will have a port. That port is where you're going to connect your cable, right? So your cable will have a port or a connector. That connector will go through this port, right? So when you're gonna connect to a wireless network, your device requires a wireless network interface card. When you're gonna connect to a wired, your device will require a network interface card, right? Now, those two devices, those two network interface cards, the one for wireless and the one for cable, will have a specific number, unique number that you cannot change, right? That number, we call it a MAC address, right? So your network interface card or your wireless network interface card will have a specific number. That number, you cannot change it. That number, we call it a MAC address, right? That M means media, A it's access, control, right? So technically, that physical number, we call it MAC address. Like your phone will have that wireless network interface card. That component will have its own number that you cannot change, right? We call it MAC address. Now, that number will look like this one, right? That number will have 48 bits divided in a 24 bits, 24 bits. The first 24 bits will represent the manufacturer, the company that made that device. And the second, like 24 bits, will show what? Will show the device. This is the number for the device. So when you see a MAC address, right? Your MAC address will have like 6 parts. The 3 first part shows what will determine the company that made that component. The last 3 parts will determine the unique number of that laptop, of that network interface card for that laptop. So if I want to resume myself, when you see a MAC address or that unique number of your component, of your network interface card, that number will have 6 parts. The 3 first part will determine the number of the company that made the device, the manufacturer. And the 3 last one will determine the actual number for your device. So we can have like 20 computers, those 20 computers with 20 network interface cards, but we can have the same manufacturer. Means that the 3 first part will be the same, but the 3 last will be different because it's our unique number. So it's like you got your name. Maybe on your name, there is your first name, it's your father's name, and your second name, it's your own name. Your sister also will have your father's name and her own name. Your brother also will have your father's name and his own name, all right? This is what does it mean. So MAC address will have 6 parts. The 3 first part shows the manufacturer, and the 3 last shows the unique number of the device, right? Let's do an example. Suppose like my MAC address is this one, 3ABACC5TFF66, right? You can see that 3AB4CC, this is the manufacturer one, right? It shows the manufacturer, right? And 5TFF66, this is the device, my actual number. So I got one number, one part that will identify the company that made my device, and the last one will show my own. So when you see a MAC address, you have to know that one part for the manufacturer and one part for the actual device, right? Now, how to test if your MAC address works? Sometimes people cannot be connected because the MAC address is not working, right? It's not even not how to test if your network interface card works. It's not even a MAC address. Sorry, you can change from the slide. How to test if your network interface card works. Suppose like you want to buy a laptop, you want to buy a computer, you have to test if that computer can be connected to networks by checking what? By checking your physical card. If that physical card works, that port, if it's working, right? And how to check? You go to command prompt, to CMD, you type ping, you precise this IP, 127.0.0.1. And this IP, we call it a loopback address. So 127.0.0, it's a loopback address. It's an IP address for testing the devices. So for testing, if your network interface card works, what you're gonna do, you go to command prompt, right? Let me check first if you can see my screen before even doing that. I'll make sure that you can see my whole screen. Okay, screen. Okay, so you type CMD, right? You must run it like an administrator. You right click, you say run as an administrator, right? And you are going to be like here, right? So for you to test if your network interface card works, if that component works, you must use the loopback address. You only type what? Ping, I'm waiting for you. You must go also to CMD, ping 127.0.0.1. This IP address is a loopback IP. This is the IP address for testing the network interface card, and you press enter. When you see a reply like this, you can read down here. Packet sent 4, you received 4, lost 0. There is no loss. What does it mean? It means the communication is fine. So means that that device works. You can buy that laptop. Maybe if there's a user who cannot connect to other networks or to other computers, maybe the network interface card doesn't work, right? How to know? You must type ping space 127.0.0.1. This is the IP address for testing the devices. There are so many questions that will ask you, which IP for testing the device? It's a loopback IP 127.0.0.1. And when you are designing your network, don't use this IP 127. It's for testing the devices, right? Now, let's go back to my slides, right? Now, you are done testing, right? I told you that your network interface card will have a unique number. That unique number, we call it MAC address, right? How to know your MAC address? How to know like a MAC address of a particular computer? When you know the MAC address, there are so many configurations you can play around. When I know your MAC address, because the MAC address never changes, you cannot change your laptop MAC address. You cannot change it. That's why when you did something wrong with your laptop, they will know you, they will find you, because you cannot change your MAC address, right? So when you do something wrong, they can find you by using your MAC address. So when you know like MAC addresses of your computers, means you can play around them, you can manage them, right? So I can block you from your MAC address from the wireless access point. So I can go to your wireless access point, I can block your specific MAC address. Means you cannot be connected. So when you know like a MAC address of a particular device, you can play around the configurations, right? Now let's see how to get the MAC address of your computer, right? Okay, you must go again to CMD. The command is very, very simple, right? The same command. You only type what? You type get MAC. You press enter, right? You will see here, this is my MAC address. My MAC address is here. D8CO A6ODDAEF. From here, I will know that this one, this is the manufacturer, right? Manufacturer number. And this one, this is for my own device that the manufacturer assigned to my network interface card, right? So I got this one. I got also this one. Why I do have two MAC addresses? Because I'm using a laptop. This laptop got Wi-Fi and LAN and cable. So I can be connected using wireless or using cables. It means I got two network cards. That's why it's showing me those two network interface cards, right? So we do have exercises. You have to practice, right? You go to your computer, you're gonna get your MAC address, you write it down, you're gonna tell me which one is the manufacturer one and which one is for your own device. You move around, you go to your neighbor, you go to her or his computer, try to get his MAC address and try to get the manufacturer part and the device part, right? Okay, let's go back to the slide. Okay. Those are the exercises. Okay, when you are done, those are the exercises that you need to do, right? You can, number one, you get your own MAC address plus 2 other more from your neighbors, right? And number 2, you have to determine the manufacturer part and the device part. Number 3, you have to test your neighbor's network interface card, so if it's working, right? So you just go to your neighbor, you try to check. Let's move forward. Now, there is what we call the Address Resolution Protocol, ARP, Address Resolution Protocol. What does it mean? This Address Resolution Protocol, it's like a database that will allow you to map one IP to a MAC address, like your computer. I can map it to an IP address, all right? You can map your IP address to a MAC address by using what? This ARP, the Address Resolution Protocol, right? Sorry, darling. Yeah, guys, you can take your tea break for 10 or 15 minutes and come back, we can move forward. So the Address Resolution Protocol will map your IP to the MAC address. Why? Right? Sometimes you can take a specific computer. When you know the MAC address, you can only link it to a specific IP, right? And sometimes somebody cannot be connected because his MAC address is linked to a wrong IP, right? So we are going to see how to check your MAC address and those IPs that are linked to your MAC address, right? So as I said, this ARP, the Address Resolution Protocol, is just a database that will map MAC address to IPs. So that database will have like one column IPs, another column MAC addresses. Now it will link one MAC address to a specific IP, right? And why there is this mapping? Because how can I find you? Suppose like I'm sending you a message, I'm in USA. My message will reach your network, like this building that you are using. My message will reach a wireless access point. But that wireless access point got so many devices that are connected to that wireless access point, right? How am I gonna get it, right? It's because of this ARP. This ARP will allow me, because I know your IP, I can find your MAC address. When I can find your MAC address, means I know the computer where I have to send the message, right? So the ARP will allow us to find devices because we know the IPs, but how we are going to know the specific computer that we are looking for. So the ARP will allow us to map that, right? Let's move to the next slide. Now, how to check those IPs that are linked to your MAC address. You just go to comment prompt, you type ARP space #A. Right? This is how you have to check those like IPs that are linked to your MAC address. As I said, sometimes you can be linked to a wrong IP, and because of that, you cannot be connected. This the #A will allow you to check. You can also add one IP. You can link one IP to one MAC address. You can also delete. So #A for checking, #D for deleting, and #S for adding. But for now, let's do this one. We are going to check on my computer those IPs that are linked to my MAC address. Right. Let me first try to share my screen. Okay. So the command, it's a ARP space, right? And you press enter. So you will see that for this interface that I'm connected, right? So this is my MAC address, and this is the IP that is associated to this MAC address, right? Later on, we are going to see that you can delete it, you can add, and so on. So this is the way I got this IP, right? Dynamically. So this mapping happens dynamically. It means there's a device that's linked those two. But you can also get them statistically, right? So for now, this is the command for you to check those IPs that are linked to MAC addresses. Sometimes for troubleshooting, you can try to check maybe somebody's not connected. Now you ask yourself, maybe this computer MAC address is linked to a wrong IP or to wrong IPs. You can just go to CMD, you type ARP space #A, right? So I got some exercises here that you have to go through them, right? Make sure that you do like all of them. Fix my slide, there are some mistakes because I was typing fast. You can fix whatever that's wrong, right? So this is the first exercise that we are going to do today. The first one for testing and so on, and the second one for ARP. Do those exercises, Montokozo will check and let me know in order for us to move to the next session, right? If you got your questions, don't hesitate to send. Thank you very much.